They say all that glitters is not gold. So how do we spot an opportunity when we see it? Stick around and find out on today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me today. I found out today that the first recorded instance in English of that saying, all that glitters is not gold, is actually from a play of Shakespeare's. And in that play, the line is, all that glisters is not gold. And then I just discovered this. I had never heard the word glister before, but apparently it's an old English word going back to the 14th century, 200 years before this play was written. And it's still in the dictionary, just I don't think anybody uses it. Maybe we should start using it instead of glitter. It doesn't sound as good because it's like glister. It doesn't sound great, but it's kind of like glisten. Oh, I get it. We say glisten in English, but that's spelled Glisten. Glisten? And the same thing happened with glitters, just in reverse. It was glisters, but then that S became a T and it became glitters. That's probably what happened. Well, anyway, so much for glistering, and glittering. Let's ask the cards this question. If all that glitters is not gold, how do we spot an opportunity when we see it? Okay, cards, I'm counting on you. Now, the bottom of the card deck is card 38. You are what you hate. And that we dealt with yesterday, along with two other cards. Remember, it was a tough day. And so that is on the bottom, as always the last card is. So I'm going to do my casual shuffle, rearranging top and bottom with one hand as I hold the cards in the other hand. Okay, 3 times. Then I'm going to shuffle the deck. Okay. All right, and then now I look for a gap. Here's me looking for a gap. Oh, my eye was drawn to this one. Oh, it better not be passions are for hobbies. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. Oh, I think we had this the other day. Get people's names right. How do we spot an opportunity? Well, let's look at this card. We are our names truly, and our efforts to get people's names right will make them feel that they are visible as who they are. When we get names wrong, we are accidentally erasing and replacing someone's identity. Write and speak people's names correctly. Ask again if someone's name doesn't stick, or ask the person to help you pronounce it. This should not be overlooked as a small thing. I think the key to this question is in that last line. This should not be overlooked as a small thing. Because that's what the situation where something that glitters is gold, that situation is where we think we see something that is big and golden, but in reality, it's not. It's fool's gold, as they call it. I think that's iron pyrite. Anybody who's a mineralogist out there will help me. Just let me know. I think it's pyrite is what, and it's like a form of iron, maybe. Well, please do let me know. So thinking that something, this is that when we think there's something that's a big thing, and we think, oh, this is it. This is the opportunity. We're sometimes missing the fact that it's not going to pan out that way. And that, of course, leads to disappointment, and it also misleads us. Because, like the case of getting people's names right, I have found in my life, and in talking to thousands of people about their lives, that the small thing where you don't realize it's an opportunity, the thing that looks like lead and not gold, that's where we find most of our opportunities. And how does this work? Well, it's the small connection we make with a person over something that leads to big things. And this card is telling us to make those connections in ways that meets people where they are, and to see, in a sense, who responds. So this is a way of surprising ourselves by understanding that that small connection you made just the other day will lead to a big opportunity. And then this helps us also think about how to put things in perspective. And I think that is really the key to that saying, all that glitters is not gold, and it's a key to spotting opportunity, is letting things stay in perspective and not letting things get out of perspective. You know how it happens. You see something that you think is golden, that you think this is it, this is gold. And a lot of times it ends up not being what it appears to be. And we let it get out of perspective. On the other hand, something little that happens, and we say, oh, that little thing. Remember the other day we were talking about a little work, like small parts of the kind of your work that you do, that you say, oh, that's just this silly little thing I do. But that is a really big thing for you. And it's the same idea, because in that little thing that you do that you kind of overlook, that's where the opportunity is. Opportunity is always in places that are easily overlooked because of the idea that we're looking for, that we know that this big thing that we're looking for will appear in the form that we believe or are told that we're looking for. That turns it on its head, doesn't it? Because if we understand that when we're spotting an opportunity, we're looking for that glister. Aha, I used glister in a sense. We're looking out for that glittering gold that we think we're supposed to be looking out for, but that glittering gold turns out to be iron pyrite and not actually gold. So those are the keywords for today: perspective and small connection. I think we also, the world is tough. We know this. We know this from yesterday and from our lives, that life ain't easy. And I think that's why we want to think that, like, everything that looks like it's easy and glittering and the easy money, and this is the, everything that looks easy, we think, aha, this is it. And we're really looking for that. And who could blame us? Like we talked about yesterday, things get rough. And so in those moments, realizing that looking out for the easy money, looking out for what is glittering but may not be gold, is not the way to go. Putting things in perspective, making genuine connections with people and understanding where you're coming from and working from a position of strength, you're putting yourself in a position to understand what a real opportunity is when it comes knocking at your door. So keep that all in mind today. And let's have that be our keyword for the day, perspective. Because putting everything in perspective will help us understand when we're spotting a real opportunity. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet.